Hi lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, my name is Belinda Stranad and here is Ballistic Jace. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate us, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive in into today's video. So I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where the sister is actually setting records straight based on black belt and how it actually provoke, pan-colored people. Guys, I'm just gonna roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
Being Black and upper class has in no way been a persecution for me. It has, however, been a front row seat to a kind of white rage that affects everyone, no matter what social, racial category you slot into in society. This rage flies under the radar, it's made invisible, it's been around for a long time, it runs on the same economic, political playbook that it has since the end of the Civil War, and it's hurting all of you. All of you. Unless you're Jeff Bezos, but that's not you. A very small example of this is a couple of years back, I was all dressed up with black and white cousins. We're all dressed up. There's a good group of us, maybe 12, and we're going to the symphony. This symphony is it's manned by tons of volunteers, right? People who want to help you, people who are excited to see young people come to the symphony. And we get there and I've got my 8 or 9 tickets all connected. And this older white woman, member of my community, is doing the scanning. I can tell from the get-go, she doesn't really want to help me. She's peeved. And I'm thinking, why? I've got this huge group of people coming in. Like, this is a win for the local community symphony. So she scans all my tickets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She gets to the 8th or 9th one. I don't remember how many exactly we had. It doesn't beep. Now, mind you, I had to pick up these tickets at will call with an ID, with my name. And she knows this because she's a volunteer before I come to her. She scans the last ticket that has the symphony's name on it. I mean, it's got all the official stuff. And she explodes with this quiet anger and this total frustration. Like, she's just like, she knew it. She knew I was a thief. And she loudly, in front of everybody, accuses me basically of stealing a ticket and attaching it to the legitimate tickets, which is how you should do crime. Now, that's a ridiculous thing. We sorted it out. We found out that yes, while she was following the rules as to what to do if I guess a thief comes and attaches a fake ticket to a bunch of real tickets, she did not know how to use her scanner properly. But instead of having customer service, instead of thinking about how one should approach this, she responded with the anger that was already inside of her. She'd already assumed and knew that this kind of place was not for people like us. And she didn't want to have to let us in. And if she could get us out on a technicality, on a quiet rule, and she threw up her hands, I can't help you, I can't do anything, she would. That is a very tiny, low stakes example of the work Carol Anderson, as a historian, has done in looking at the documented and demonstrated examples of rulemaking and code making that certain people in higher classes have used to quietly make sure that lower class whites and black people with wealth cannot get ahead. When Carol Anderson decided to write White Rage, it had come after she had been asked for the Washington Post to write an op-ed in the wake of August 2014 when the Black Lives Matter riots were exploding. Her critique was that we were looking at black rage. We were looking at physical anger, destruction of property, all those different things. And she was making it very clear in that first essay and then in her book that you can't understand this rage unless you understand the other kind of rage. That's the rage that uses your political power, your legal power, to write laws and little caveats into things to make sure that you undermine the wealth of people believed to be black, and you make sure that people who are believed to be white, who are in lower classes, never politically come together with those people. Now, who does that cost? It costs the democracy, and it costs all sorts of other classes that aren't in the ruling class. Because what they're doing is you're undermining, as she shows in her book, you're undermining voting rights. You're undermining this ability for the lower classes to look at each other and go, hey, our taxes should be going toward X, Y, and Z. Carol's research, I should say Miss Anderson's research, is an invitation to look at the kind of responses that have legally always existed to the advancement of Black people or the advancement of lower classes coming together and saying, this is how we would like to be treated. She's making it clear that if we don't look at the playbook, we're going to miss it in today's age. It's not something that happened back then. It's something that's happening now. We're going to be looking at this work because there's going to come a point in time when you are trying to rightfully access something that is yours, and you're going to be told that if it is given to you or if you want it, it's probably because you stole it or you shouldn't have it. As a historian, she's making these brilliant connections about how this is an assault on Black middle class, but then you can go out and see it's also the middle class as a whole. It's really important that we contextually understand our history because we're all bound up together, and all of our lives and our pursuit of happiness and liberty, it's connected. And there are reasons that people don't want you to understand that, because you become dangerous when you know that. You're less of a victim and you're more of a threat. So I'm excited to read this book. If you've read this book, if you finished it, if you know of any other things of Carol Anderson's that you just really particularly want to look at, please write in the comments.
So we moved into a first suburb neighborhood. I was out on a walk with my son. This white lady stopped me to say, oh my gosh, how sweet of you to nanny for this family. Which I responded, I'm not the nanny. This is my son. She then was just like, oh, okay, so you're a stay-at-home mom. I said, yes, I am. She didn't say anything else. She kind of just walked off. If you're thinking maybe that's a regular conversation people have, it absolutely is not. This woman asked me that because she's like, why are you out during business hours, getting coffee and not working? When we moved into our second neighborhood, I had 3 under 3. I go to meet up with a couple of moms, about 4 white moms, because I'm new to the neighborhood. When I pull up with my stroller, this woman looks at me and goes, oh my gosh, it must be so hard being a single mom and of twins at that. I look at her and I'm like, I wouldn't know. I'm married. And then she was like, oh, good for you. So it must be the daycare. Daycare is so expensive. And then I was like, is that why you're a stay-at-home mom? Because of daycare? She goes, oh, no. My husband just doesn't want me to work. I said, neither does mine. The amount of rage, hate, and anger I experience every day on this app for choosing to be a stay-at-home mom who doesn't do it all, who prioritizes herself, who wants to outsource, who wants to enjoy motherhood. This rage is really just because they do not think I deserve the same experiences. They feel like they've reserved those experiences for themselves. For many, many years, Black women were not even allowed to be stay-at-home mom. For many years, Black women were forced to raise other people's children. So I could understand why they think these experiences are only reserved for them. And the only way we can have these experiences is if we're suffering for them, is if we are struggling to be in them. And I tell you, it makes their butthole itch that I get to enjoy motherhood. I mean, butthole itch, the anger.
Like, seriously, lovely, it all happens when, some group of people are expected not to actually succeed in life. And when this group of people eventually succeed, a lot of people that were actually not expecting them to succeed becomes so shocked, becomes like, how was that possible? When you have made everything possible for a particular set of people not to actually succeed in life, or you've made, some kind of arrangement to actually keep, a particular set of people to be oppressed, and because of what you've done, you think that they are not actually gonna come out from their shell, they are not actually gonna succeed, and all your plans fail woefully. And you see these people in a place where you never expected them. Then you become very surprised and shocked, like, how was that even possible? Upon everything I have done to keep these people in a particular level, they still find their way up. That is white rage. The woman that stitched her video actually remind me of a brother. sharing his own experience in a rich white neighborhood. So she was actually, I think he was married to a pan-colored woman. And this one pan-colored woman is a woman of, how it is. So he decided that he was going to go somewhere with this woman. And reaching there, the woman, was in her meeting, and he decided to step out to look at the neighborhood. He said that he got to a restaurant, something like an eatery, and he just, went in there, awaiting his he just ordered for something, and the waitress there, who happens to be a pan-colored woman or lady, was just staring at him, was like, what is he doing here? She even went ahead to ask him, like, what are you doing here? Like, you are not supposed to be in this kind of place, being a black man. And he was like, I live around this neighborhood. And the way she actually looked at him, and she was like, okay, I think I need to call it 911 or something, like she want to call the cops. I was like, why are you calling the cops? I said, I live here. And she was like, I don't think so. With all the rudeness and all of that, they were just dragging this, up in front until the wife, came out from her meeting. Then I'm meeting the guy in the state. The guy was like, what is happening here? And he actually have to explain what's happened. And this lady in question was, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I was not even aware, I'm so sorry, blah 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 blah. This is how it is. They have segregated and decided that this particular set of people are incapable of moving into this neighborhood or living in this particular neighborhood. They have categorized black people that, okay, you are just going to remain in a ghetto or something. And anytime they see them in some type of a luxury or even a place, befitting place, they turn very, very angry. Like, they become so angry, like, oh my god, you are not supposed to be here. Like, how come? They will look for every means to prove their point. There's this, video have been going on TikTok. I think that's actually happened last year, where this neighbor, he just moved into this neighborhood, a very, well-to-do neighborhood, and he decided that he was gonna go out to fish. And this Karen was all over the place. I'm gonna call the cops. You are intruding. How can somebody be intruding in his own, neighborhood? Like, I don't understand, until when she eventually called the cops and she realized that this guy was actually living here or living in that same neighborhood. Then she regretted her actions. Like, this is just what you have to face as a black person. This is what you have to face in your daily life as someone with a darker skin complexion. And it's just so, it's so disappointing that this still happens. Like, seriously, they have made it in a way that we are just gonna keep on finding it difficult to live in a particular place. And when we do, with all our struggles and all of that, they see it as something that is not befitting us. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.